taking over. Let's go. It's Ferrall. Coast to coast. Steaks, chicks, stacks. You and I are going to make a lot of money. It's Ferrall, coast to coast.
It's Ferrall coast to coast in the biggest way possible right here on SportsGrid and SportsGrid Radio. Great to have you with us on a Wednesday, a golf Wednesday on C2C, which we'll get to momentarily. Carver High in for Scotty today and the rest of the week. We're going to get Go for the Two in here in a moment as well. Very busy Wednesday. We mentioned lots of golf, lots of baseball. We've got afternoon games to look at, plenty of games tonight. It's a big football show, final week of the NFL preseason. We got starting quarterbacks being named. We've got real college football coming up on Saturday, which is going to make Joe very happy as well. Plenty of guests, too. Like we said, Golf Wednesday. Gabe Morency's always with us in the first hour on C2C. We will talk to him momentarily. Charlie Hume from the Smiley Show going to be getting involved with us here to start Golf Wednesday from out in Colorado with the BMW Championship. No Cam this week. He's out, but that's okay. Brady Cannon slides right in and is going to do the golf picks with me in the usual Cam spot in hour number 2. And then Keith Stewart from Read the Line, as always, on Wednesdays, gets us ready for the second leg of the FedEx Cup playoffs. Only 50 golfers this week out in Castle Rock, Colorado. Very exciting. I'm pumped for this week's tournament, that's for sure. It feels like old times today on C2C. Of course, for a long time, every Tuesday and Wednesday, you got a little bit of an extended version of the very popular SportsGrid radio show, Carver and Lisi, with myself and the encyclopedia of college football, the one, the only, Go for the Two, Joe Lisi, and he's back with me today. Hi, Joe. How you doing?
What's up, Carver? I'm putting on airs with the Golf Syndicate. You know, you snuck me right in for this show. Even though it's football season, I'm rubbing elbows with some of the best in the golf game. It's amazing.
It's got to drive you nuts. We got a big golf show today with the final week of the NFL preseason. College football kicking off on Saturday. It's got to drive you nuts. But, Joe, I mean, it's become a thing, Golf Wednesdays. We're almost at the end of the line here with the season. 2 weeks left this weekend at Eastgate next week. Eastlake, for the Tour Championship. So there's a lot going on, Joe, in the golf world, and we got to make sure that we have all of that taken care of. Joe, it is going to be a big football show for you, I promise. Before I get there, though, we have baseball that's going on now this afternoon that we need to look at. 3 games, in fact, that are already underway. The Mets lead the Orioles 3-2, top of the 8th at Citi Field. Final game of that series. They just got a Vientos homer, of course, in the bottom of the 7th to take that 3-2 lead. Lindor homered earlier in the game, but the Orioles are knocking on the door. First and second, nobody out in that top 8th, and that is with Jackson Holiday. Jackson Holiday up at the plate for the O's. We will see if they can tie that game up or maybe even, Joe, extend. End of 3 in Houston. 2-1, Red Sox lead the Astros. Red Sox got a run in the first. Bregman then homered for the Astros to tie it. They got a Rafala double after that, the Sox to go up 2-1. We're looking for Jordan to go big fly in that, Joe. That would be very good for us if we can somehow make that happen. And the other live game, the Pirates scoreless in Arlington with the Rangers. I mean, they just had the bases loaded, Joe, in the top of the second, and they didn't score any runs. To the bottom of the second we go. Very unfortunate there for the Buccos.
I just jumped in on 7.5 and 8.5 alt because I thought they were hanging a cheap number, minus 108 to the 8.5. The Algo knew they were gonna threaten but not convert. I hate these Pirates on the road, but hopefully maybe Seager and the Rangers could break out, Carver. Hopefully. I need this run in Citi Field, too. Can the Orioles convert? You notice I'm talking about the football lingo. Can they convert third and long? Can they convert on third down conversion?
Yeah, that's really what your focus is. Like you even told me on the radio show, you're just trying to, well, as soon as they start for real, you baseball in the back burner for Joe Lisi. He's just trying to get to the finish line here He's trying to get to the Aviva Saturday for Florida State and Georgia Tech, and they put the ball in the air, and that's it. He'll be wall-to-wall college football Saturday. He's got that Dublin game, got the SMU-Nevada game. He's going to stay up and watch Hawaii and Delaware State if the Hornets ever get there. You're very excited, Joe. You're very excited. I know you're very excited for college football on Saturday.
I am. Can we get that over with Delaware State? What is it,
57 and a half? I saw 57 and a half.
Buy. It's up. They already bought it up 2 points. Buy. No defense in Hawaii with Timmy Chang.
I saw last night, Joe, after the travel snafu for Delaware State, it went from 38 and a half to 40 and a half. Moved 2 points with the travel snafu that they're going through there. I'm sure they're going to get there in plenty of time to play the game against Hawaii. That's a big number for Hawaii, Joe, on Saturday. I've been seeing that, all those, the charts and graphs that have gone around this week. Oh, Hawaii opening home game. What are they, Joe? Like 14, 3-2 ATS and all that. Joe, how many of those games were they laying 40 points? In all those games, probably not many, if any at all, right? So that's a little bit of a different number. I get it; it's an FCS team, and they should smash them. But we'll get into that later, Joe. I've got the numbers for you for college. There is one other baseball game that's going to start in about 25, 30 minutes out in San Francisco at Oracle for the White Sox and the Giants. We have a great pitching matchup too. Logan Webb against Garrett. Don't call me Davy Crockett because my name is Crochet. And a nice 6.5 total for you here, Joe. Minus 240 for the Giants, plus 195 for the White Sox. I always stay away from games with Logan Webb at home, Joe. You're not going to get any runs there.
Possible, Carver. I've been on this total the last 2 nights. I've been cold with the baseball totals. But, I mean, how low can you go? I mean, it's 6.5. You want to put it down to 4? I mean, I understand Logan Webb, but I think the Giants can pound the White Sox here. It's down from 7. It opened up at a flat 7, not even 7.5. I'm going to take a shot. I think we go over the 6.5. I think the Giants do win with Webb on the mound. And even if Chicago wants to get out of Dodge, we should get through this number. I'd be shocked, stunned if it goes under.
Stunned if it goes under. Joe, not a believer in the fast getaway day afternoon out in San Fran with 2 pretty good pitchers on the mound. Joe's not going to go. He don't believe in any of that. He's going after it anyway. Bases loaded for the Orioles with nobody out in the top of the 8th. And guess who's up? Well, Rutschman's up. I need Rutschman to homer.
All right, come on,
Adley
sit that
up.
red.
How about the Granny Smith here, Joe? Can we get the Granny Smith for
yes.
Rutschman right here? That would be ideal.
Carver,
if we could somehow do that.
I love on Coast to Coast when you start. Forget the cognac. Give me the Moniac, and now the Granny Smith. The Granny Smith. Give him the Granny Smith. Sit that red. Ducks on a pocket.
Mickey Moniac. That's your guy, Joe. Mickey Moniac. Forget the cognac. Get me the Moniac.
I have over 9.5. So if they homer, that'll be 6-3. That's a start. We get the extra 3 outs if that happens.
Well, I hope he homers. That would be the most ideal situation for me, Joe.
Keep me updated.
If that could happen. I will keep you updated. We got a lot of football to do as well. The Broncos made it official just a little while ago, Sean Payton, that Bo Nix is going to be the starting quarterback for Denver. He's played very well, Joe. A sack fly for Rutschman. So they do tie the game at 3. I was looking for a little bit more there, Joe. That's just not enough. Nix probably deserved to win that job, Joe, because the other guys stink. That's why Nix won the job.
Well, Stidham and Zach Wilson, you know what you have. I mean, a bag of potatoes would be better street value than both of those quarterbacks. But here's the thing, and Sean Payton didn't sign up for a rebuild. You have to see what you have in Nix. He gives them the best shot.
He certainly does. So a very, very busy Wednesday. We got lots of golf to do on a golf Wednesday, all the baseball, tons of football for Joe as well. We'll get it started, though, with Morency next. Ferrall Coast to Coast on a Wednesday. SportsGrid Radio. We're back after this.
What a chance it is for Adam Paxton and Victor Tingsham to pick up their first weekly titles. Adam Paxton, well, it's been the dream debut so far for him. For Victor Tingsham, he'll feel like this is a moment a little while coming. A place in the final up for grabs for one.
You can do it. Make that double 18 away for a place in the final.
Wesley Plaisir was beaten, knocked out by Mike Warburton in a last leg decider.
That is what they are playing for. They are playing for the trophy. They are playing for the big prize pot, and they are playing for a place in the £25,000 Champions Week.
97.
There is a point you feel that reality will surely kick in for Adam Paxton, who's here on debut. He watches the Super Series almost every single week. He was happy just to be playing in a group. This could be the leg that we talk about at the end of the night as being the one that changed the final, because Adam Paxton has just gone cold at the moment.
Bang on cue.
He doesn't just get two, he gets the lot.
Should take out the 16 out. If not, Mike's just behind him.
Shot on the fifth leg.
Can Paxton deliver one of the biggest moments of his career so far? He can. Double 12. What a moment that is from Adam Paxton. Mike Warburton was looking at 60 to win the match.
14.
Paxton, here's your moment. He approaches the jockey with confidence, with time, and delivers. Adam Paxton on debut. The boy, the fanboy, comes to the Super Series and wins.
And we are back for El Coast to Coast here on a Wednesday. Carver High in for Scotty on SportsGrid and SportsGrid Radio. Great to have everybody with us, of course, every day. We have Gabe Morency with us, Sports Rage late night, weeknights at 10 p.m. East, right here on the grid. Gabe, good to see you, as always, my man. Me and Joe were just talking about it. You and Scotty talked about it a little bit yesterday. The odyssey of Delaware State, the Hornets, trying to get themselves out to Hawaii to play late night on Saturday. Tell me what they did here. I didn't hear the latest update. You talk about planes, trains, and automobiles. What are they doing to get to Hawaii?
Well, for everybody that was concerned that maybe the game was going to get canceled or postponed, no worries. The Delaware State Hornets are en route to Honolulu as we speak. At least about 30 of them are.
Enough to play. They got enough to play the game.
They had to split the team, Carver, into 3 different flights, right? They had tickets for 1 flight, so now they've got to find a way to get on all these new flights. So they've managed it. 3 separate flights will be leaving from the New York area today to Hawaii, and Delaware State will be on all 3 of them. You got to love this. And think about this. This isn't even Delaware. Delaware is a real program, right? Delaware is, the Fighting Blueheads. This is a good football team, right? They've had NFL players and, championships, and they're a big-time FCS program. Delaware State are not. And I got a tweet from someone who just said they live in the area. He goes, you drive by their stadium. It looks like a high school stadium. You wouldn't even know they exist. So they're clearly, this is a paycheck game for them, right? They're getting paid to go to the islands and lose to Hawaii. But think about it. How much are they really getting, Carver? And I was thinking, these guys are broke. I just imagine the AD thinking, I got to buy 105 hotel rooms now in New York because we missed our flight. It's like a financial disaster. Like the whole thing, the kids get there on shorter notice. They're probably, we were going to go out for that luau and surfing, but we don't have time anymore. I can just imagine a domino effect of how this has compiled. And I heard you talking about it. Hawaii are 12-2 against the spread, their last 14 season openers. Yeah, they're also like 17-point underdogs all the time.
Right. That's a big difference, laying 40. It's a big difference.
I saw that stat out there, people 12-2. I'm like, And I know because I bet on all this stuff. I'm like, they played Vanderbilt the last 2 years. Okay, I poured off the top of my head. They were like 13 and 10, whatever. Bro, they're always underdogs. They open up against UCLA usually, and like they're always underdogs. So they're 12 and 2. Yeah, how many times have they how many times has Hawaii won a football game, Carver, by more than 40 points since I don't know, June Jones era? Seriously.
Right. It makes no sense. It's just a. Yes, go ahead.
There's a but coming.
But. Oh, there's a but. You're laying it. You're laying it.
Delaware State are bad, bro. They won one game last year, Carver, and it was against Virginia Lynchburg. Okay?
Who?
Yeah, it wasn't even an FCS team. Like they needed to beat like a D2 team. Like it wasn't FCS.
Oh boy.
It was the only game they won all year. They have a bunch of starters back, but I don't know if that's good. I mean, we're talking about a one-win football team. And to put in context, guys, they played 2 FBS teams last year. They played against Army at Army. They lost 57-0. They went to Miami, Ohio a couple of weeks later against a MAC team. They lost 62 to 20. So they lost by, you sort of see where the number came from here, Carver, don't you? Opened up, it was around that 38.5 hovering. All right, they lost by 42 to Miami, Ohio. The only thing is, you look at this, Carver, if they give us, let's say Hawaii hangs 50 on them, okay? And that's being nice to Hawaii. All right, let's say you guys hang 50, everything falls into place, Schrager's throwing the ball around, you guys are lighting it up. Can Delaware State give us 10 points, Carver? You cover the number if they give you 10.
Yeah.
It's a tough game, isn't it?
Yeah, no, I'm not sure Delaware State scores in the game.
I want to take the points, Carver. I'm starting to realize Hawaii wins 48-0 or something.
Yeah, I feel like the under might be the way. So if you think Delaware State's not going to score, it's the under. Because is Hawaii going to score 60? No, I don't think Hawaii's going to score 60 on them. So I think that it's the under game for me.
But I'm worried because, let's say Hawaii wins 45-7. You don't cover suddenly. It's really tricky.
Yeah.
I'm not in love with the over, though, because I don't think Delaware State are going to go up and down the football field.
That's what I'm saying. 45-7's under. If it's 45-7, that's under right now. So I think that's probably the way that I see the game going the most. And everyone loves that late night. I'm actually upset, Gabe, that it's not Vandy or UCLA or one of these other teams that usually goes out there. Why the hell is Delaware State going to Hawaii in the first
Hawaii's
game?
trying to get into a bowl game, Carver. They're like, no, we're not.
They want to finally win a game. They get that
I like
extra
their
game.
style. Yeah, I mean, we're not playing an
games.
SEC team again. No, we're not playing UCLA. No. We're playing. I think they actually do play UCLA, actually, believe it or not, later.
I think they do.
I think they do later in the season. But
there's actually, of all the games, there's only 4 or 5 games on Saturday. But I feel like
the other one.
Well,
the other weird
the buried game, New Mexico, Montana State.
Yes.
That's the buried game. Nobody even knows is playing in that game. New Mexico's 11, getting 11 and a half at home.
That was like the added game, Carver. No one ever talked about it all off season. There's only 2 games, and suddenly there's they're playing as well. They sort of dropped this in.
Yeah.
Okay, similar situation, but different. Montana State are a very good FCS team.
Yes.
Like one of the best FCS teams. And in fact, they're ranked 4th in the preseason polls in the FCS world. But they haven't beaten an FBS team since 2011.
Wow.
All right? And they haven't played with a ton of powers. We can go over the numbers. They're still an FBS team. Bronco Mendenhall takes over. New head coach. We'll hit this on the other side. Getting double digits. I'm talking myself into the Lobos.
That's right.
Here.
Bronco's there now. I forgot Bronco made a move.
Bronco Mendenhall did a good job
right.
in the transfer portal. We'll hit it on the other side. They even got guys from USC there now.
Coast to coast for back after this.
What a chance it is for Adam Paxton and Victor Tingsham to pick up their first weekly titles. Adam Paxton, well, it's been the dream debut so far for him. For Victor Tingsham, he'll feel like this is a moment a little while coming. A place in the final up for grabs for one.
You can do it. Make that double 18 away for a place in the final.
Wesley Plaisir was beaten, knocked out by Mike Warburton in a last leg decider.
That is what they are playing for. They are playing for the trophy. They are playing for the big prize pot, and they are playing for a place in the £25,000 Champions Week.
97.
There is a point you feel that reality will surely kick in for Adam Paxton, who's here on debut. He watches the Super Series almost every single week. He was happy just to be playing in a group. This could be the leg that we talk about at the end of the night as being the one that changed the final, because Adam Paxton has just gone cold at the moment.
Bang on,
He doesn't just get two, he gets the lot.
Adam should take at the 16 out. If not, Mike's just behind him.
Shot on the fifth leg.
Can Paxton deliver one of the biggest moments of his career so far? He can. Double 12. What a moment that is from Adam Paxton. Mike Warburton was looking at 60 to win the match. Paxton, here's your moment. He approaches the jockey with confidence, with time, and delivers. Adam Paxton on debut. The boy, the fanboy, comes to the Super Series and wins.
And we are back for Coast to Coast here on a Wednesday. Carver High in for Scotty on SportsGrid and SportsGrid Radio. Great to have everybody with us here today. Gabe Morency's with us, of course, Sports Rage Late Night, weeknights at 10 p.m. East here on the grid. Gabe, so Oregon was supposed to play Hawaii. That's what this game was supposed to be. They played last year, I guess, in Eugene, right? 55-10. Oregon beat them at home, and then they were going to go to Hawaii this year. But with Oregon moving to the Big Ten, extra conference game, etc., they had to take the Hawaii game off the schedule, and that's why Hawaii had to replace them with the Hornets of Delaware State.
I think Hawaii are happy. I'd rather play Delaware State. Like if I'm a Hawaii football player, I'd be like, we have enough tough games coming up this year. All right, like we don't need to play more. But as far as Montana State is concerned, as I stated, a very good football team, but going on the road, first game of the season, it's still an FBS team. And, if you look at New Mexico, I think they're going to be able to run the football, Carver, bleed the clock, slow the game down, 27-20 type of game, like a battle. And if you're Montana State, as I stated, if you look at their history against FBS teams, they haven't won in like over 12 years type of deal. It would be a massive feather in their cap to win the football game, right? Just to win the game, to get the season started, would be a big deal for them. Ask them to win by 12. And you have an all-off season here with Bronco Mendenhall to prepare for this Montana State team. As I stated, none of these games are the lock of the century. These are all the D-Gen specials to get the party. It's almost like these bowl games, Carver? Like, you got your big boys and stuff. This is like betting that first, you're betting the Pop-Tart Bowl here. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's one of these early bowl games. You're sort of getting in on the action. Obviously, we have a heavyweight matchup, Florida State, ACC matchup with Georgia Tech. And for the record, I like the underdog in that game, too. I think that Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets will hang around in that football game. Finished the season strong last year. I like their offense. I like King at quarterback. They're very aggressive. I think they'll attack a young FSU secondary. FSU will try to run the ball. Georgia Tech aren't very good against the run. That's like their big weakness. So look for FSU to pound the rock and score. But I think Georgia Tech will be able to score enough to hang around in that game and really give FSU a scare, actually, Carver. I'm thinking like 30-27, 31-28, 35-30 type of football game. I think it's going to be a fun game, and I think it's going to be a close game. People often wonder about the weather in Dublin, too. 65 and sunny on Saturday in Dublin, Ireland.
Yeah, it's not going to be bad there weather-wise. When it was 12.5, 13.5, I was with you on Georgia Tech. Now that it's gotten down to 10.5, I'm starting to lean the other way, Gabe. I'm starting to lean the other way for Florida. A lot of people on Georgia Tech coming up here this week. Florida State, you think about it. What worries me about Florida State is DJU. I don't think he's that good. And I think that's going to be the problem for Florida State this year. I watched him enough. I know Oregon State doesn't play high-powered football, but he didn't look very good to me, Gabe, and that's why I'd be worried about back in the Seminoles.
I'm a fan of his. This is a big year for him. His story is still untold, right? I mean, he went from being a five-star prospect following Deshaun Watson and Trevor Lawrence, and it was almost like this guy's going to be in the NFL in 2 years, right? It was just like point blank. You know what? We're going back a ways. I know Joe Lisi would remember, and Carvey, if you remember, Logan Thomas of Virginia Tech. Long time he's in the NFL as a tight end. Dude, he was like the next Cam Newton. It was the same thing. It was like, this guy is going to be like the top pick in the NFL draft, Virginia Tech quarterback. This guy has all the traits, big dude. He's going to, and he's a tight end in the NFL, right? So, and DJ's the type of guy, I don't know, he got drafted in Major League Baseball too. Like, he's like, you know what I mean? So he could have went that way. Like, the guy is a stud, Carver, right? He's a stud athlete, but it hasn't all clicked together yet, right? And I don't know, it hasn't clicked for Cade Klubnik either at Clemson, has it, though?
No.
So was that all on DJ? You know what I'm saying? With that offense there that they're running?
It's very true. You got a bunch of new quarterbacks in that league this year, Gabe. It's going to be very interesting.
I actually like Clemson, though, Carver. Plus 14 against Georgia. Call me crazy. I should be like your boy, Lisi. Outright. Yeah. Clemson by 17.
Outright. Do it.
Outright, Clemson. Outright. Clemson by 17. This game comes down to the wire. Give me the Clemson Tigers plus the 14.
Gabe, we'll see you tonight. Sports Rage Late Night, 10 p.m. East, right here on the grid. We're back coast to coast on a Wednesday right after this.
What a chance it is for Adam Paxton and Victor Tingsham to pick up their first weekly titles. Adam Paxton, well, it's been the dream debut so far for him. For Victor Tingsham, he'll feel like this is a moment, a little while coming. A place in the final up for grabs for one.
You can do it. Make that double 18 away for a place in the final.
Wesley Plaisir was beaten, knocked out by Mike Warburton in a last leg decider.
That is what they are playing for. They are playing for the trophy. They are playing for the big prize pot, and they are playing for a place in the £25,000 Champions Week.
97.
There is a point you feel that reality will surely kick in for Adam Paxton. He's here on debut. He watches the Super Series almost every single week. He was happy just to be playing in a group. This could be the leg that we talk about at the end of the night as being the one that changed the final, because Adam Paxton has just gone cold at the moment.
Bang on,
He doesn't just get two, he gets the lot.
Adam should take the 16 out. If not, Mike's just behind him.
Shot on the fifth leg.
Can Paxton deliver one of the biggest moments of his career so far? He can. Double 12. What a moment that is from Adam Paxton. Mike Warburton was looking at 60 to win the match. Paxton, here's your moment. He approaches the jockey with confidence, with time, and delivers. Adam Paxton on debut. The boy, the fanboy, comes to the Super Series and wins.
And we are back for El Coast to Coast here on a Wednesday, a golf Wednesday on C2C, of course. Carver High in for Scotty on SportsGrid and SportsGrid Radio. Great to have everybody with us here today. Great to have Charlie Hume with us for the first time as well. Of course, the Smiley Show right here on SportsGrid. We talk to Smiley all the time here. We got to get Charlie in the mix once in a while, and why not? Second leg of the FedEx Cup playoffs. These guys have been running around. Memphis last week, out to Colorado this week. 50 golfers left. Charlie, good to see you, my man. How are you?
It's good to see you, too. And, if you can't have Smiley here, at least I can give you a little bit of, the Castle Pines backdrop here, the 18th green. We're about to do a show out here. So I'm at least pulling out all the production stops to make it look good.
And listen, it's been you guys have done a tremendous job this year with the show. It's been a great addition here on the grid. And I thought last week you guys talked to Wyndham, you talked to Nicky Dunlap. You guys were probably the good luck charm for Nick for him getting in here this week. He played great last week. And now this week, Eric Cole, who also needed a big Sunday to get himself out to Colorado. Maybe you sprinkle a little dust on him and he can get himself into the top 30 this week. How was it talking to Eric?
Many people saying the Smiley Show bump is a real thing. So we're going to have to test that theory out this week. No, Eric was great and, shot 63 at TPC Southwind on Sunday to work his way in. It was really cool actually looking at the sort of sheet that the PGA Tour provides, just showing all the roller coaster movement that Eric experiences on that Sunday, outside and then makes his way inside, then he's back out and finishes strong to kind of get inside that line. But to me, I think that's the thing that I love so much about these 3 weeks and really even going outside the playoffs to the Wyndham Championship, where there is intrigue. Even in that last group on Sunday, it was so cool. You had Hideki Matsuyama playing to win the tournament alongside Nick Dunlap, who's playing just to sneak inside top 50 and make it in this week. And he did just that with a really convincing finish. So it's high drama out here, and more of it this week.
And I think that that's a good thing that they did, Charlie, because you've been around this a long time like me, watching this, following it, betting on it, etc. I think there used to be the perception that the FedEx Cup playoffs really didn't matter. There really wasn't a lot going on. Then they did that thing where they changed the scoring. They added the strokes at East Lake, and they added all these playoff spots, signature events, top 50. You could tell there was a little bit more edge last week for a lot of guys on Sunday who were playing for some very important things getting into those spots. So now we're down to 50. You're out there in Colorado. This is a very different element this week, though. This is a course that is not a regular on the PGA Tour. They haven't been here in 20 years, and now they stick it in here for a playoff event. It's the longest course we've seen. There's an elevation aspect to it. How about walking around there, the challenge that these guys are going to have?
Yeah, I just got off the course, walked the back nine this morning, although I can't quite say that I walked the back nine as much as I hiked it, because it is a lot of up and down. It's at 6,400 feet of elevation. And it's really interesting to me, just trying to kind of profile this course, because to your point, the last time they played here for the International, it was a Stableford event. It was a number of years ago. And the thing that stood out to me the most was the tightness of a lot of the landing areas. And, these guys are pros. Of course, they have the best caddies in the world. So they are the best at calculating, change in elevation and how the wind's impacting things and all the calculations that go into determining what club they want to hit. But in pressure situations, there's going to be a lot of numbers flying around trying to kind of dial in, where's our landing area? What happens if we go through it? I was talking to Davis Thompson's caddy today. He was playing the 12th or 13th hole, I believe, and just talking about how in one sort of direction they're hitting like 7-wood and they're afraid it's going to run through the fairway, but if the wind comes back, they really got to hit a 3-wood out there to have a good club in for the approach shot. So I think there's going to be a lot of caddy player math happening out here this week, or just through the weekend, and whoever can kind of nail those numbers the best and then kind of play the best approach shots, that's going to be the guy who succeeds out here.
And when you talk about guys who succeed, obviously when you look at who you want to back this week, this is an event that it moves around. It doesn't stay at the same place every year in the FedEx Cup playoffs. But one thing stays the same here, Charlie, and that's big dogs usually eat when you get down to the last 50 and you get to the BMW. That's just the way it goes. So even though we've got guys between 30 and 50 who are trying to get themselves to Atlanta, you had Victor last year, you had Cantlay 2 years before that, you had Rahm, JT. That's the last 5 years of this event. I'm guessing you're going to go big dog as well, or are you taking someone a little further down the board?
You know, the guy that I just can't get away from here, because I've just been waiting to use him all year long, is Victor Hovland, a guy that just was – at the end of last year, he won this event. Last year was in Olympia Fields, I believe, in outside Chicago. And, then, of course, goes on to win the FedEx Cup at East Lake and then plays fantastically well in the Ryder Cup, the famous paired with Ludwig Oberg, beat Scotty Scheffler and Brooks Koepka 9-7. It looks like he's going to be one of the best players in the world. And then drops his coach and kind of goes through a real rough patch at the start of the year. Had a good finish at the PGA Championship, but outside of that, was not just in the same form he was at the end of last year, but now finishes tied for second last week. It all looks like it's starting to click. And if you're talking about like elite approach players, so guys that need to be accurate off the tee, and then guys who are going to need to kind of hit shots close to make some birdies this week, that is Victor Hovland at spades. So I like Hovland a lot, but I also like – I just think driving accuracy is going to be really important this week. So some other guys that I'm looking at that are in the mix here are Aaron Rai, an incredibly accurate driver of the golf ball. I believe he is the most accurate driver of the golf ball on tour this season. I like Sepp Straka I like this week. Tommy Fleetwood I like a lot this week. And even like a Colin Morikawa. Those are kind of the group of guys I'm looking at this week.
It kind of feels like with Colin, he's a guy that I'm going to back this week. He's on my card. I just feel like he's got to pay this year off with a win at some point, right, Charlie? Like, he had that run from the Masters all the way, really, you could say, to the Scottish right before the Open Championship. I mean, he was in the top 15 every single week, tons of top fives, a couple runner-ups. It just feels like he's earned it. You're going to win something at some point, and this might be the week for him.
You are absolutely correct. I feel the exact same way. I said it last week, leading into the FedEx St. Jude Championship of like, maybe this is the week he picks off a win, because if you look at his full season and his results, nobody's played better without bringing home a trophy, especially in 3 of those 4 majors. So I got to think that it either this week is a little bit tougher to handicap, knowing that it's a new course and we don't know how he's going to play up here. And I was watching him walk around earlier with his caddy, Jakovac, and kind of identifying where they wanted to hit some tee shots, and it looks like they're pretty dialed in. But also, if you remember last year, he played great the first 2 rounds at East Lake and had a little struggle on the weekend, but that's one, too, where it's a place where he's comfortable. If he doesn't get one this week, I could see him staying in the mix and lifting the FedEx Cup trophy when this thing's all said and done.
Very possible. It was a rough week for Rory last week. Really one of the worst tournaments you could ever say you could see Rory McIlroy play, and especially when he finishes pretty much dead last. Usually a very big performer in the FedEx Cup playoffs. I got to imagine he's got a little chip on the shoulder this week as he gets out to Colorado, and we're going to see a better Rory.
You hope. I mean, I never wish playing bad on a guy, but no. I just don't know how I feel about Rory this week, given that I just think there's going to be a real demand for precision iron shots. And last week, it wasn't like he drove the ball bad. He was in good positions. Then some of the iron shots and wedge shots he hit with his approach, it didn't make sense. Stuff we're not accustomed to seeing from Rory McIlroy. And for the same reason that I'd stay away from a Max Homa, who is a phenomenally talented player, one of the world's elite, is going to get back there. But he's going through something right now. He's kind of grinding on some swing changes, and he needs to work his way through that before I can say that's the guy I want to place money on. I'm in a similar boat with Rory. It's like I kind of need to see him fix some of the stuff that's ailing him, especially at a course like this, before I'm willing to put money on him.
Max needs like 3 months off and just like chill by the beach, and then just pick the clubs back up then and get going for next year. It's been a rough couple months for Max Homa. Charlie, tremendous job as always. Can't wait to watch you guys with Seppi out there. Sepp Straka, The Smiley Show, Charlie Hume. Great job as always. We're back coast to coast right after this.
What a chance it is for Adam Paxton and Victor Tingsham to pick up their first weekly titles. Adam Paxton, well, it's been the dream debut so far for him. For Victor Tingsham, he'll feel like this is a moment a little while coming. A place in the final up for grabs for one.
You can do it. Make that double 18 away for a place in the final.
Wesley Plaisir was beaten, knocked out by Mike Warburton in a last leg decider.
Play. That is what they are playing for. They are playing for the trophy. They are playing for the big prize pot, and they are playing for a place in the £25,000 Champions Week.
97.
There is a point you feel that reality will surely kick in for Adam Paxton. He's here on debut. He watches the Super Series almost every single week. He was happy just to be playing in a group. This could be the leg that we talk about at the end of the night as being the one that changed the final, because Adam Paxton has just gone cold at the moment.
Bang on cue.
He doesn't just get two, he gets the lot.
Adam should take it the 16 out. If not, Mike's just behind him.
Shot on the fifth leg.
Can Paxton deliver one of the biggest moments of his career so far? He can. Double 12. What a moment that is from Adam Paxton. Mike Warburton was looking at 60 to win the match. Paxton, here's your moment. He approaches the jockey with confidence, with time, and delivers. Adam Paxton on debut. The boy, the fanboy, comes to the Super Series and wins.
And we are back for El Coast to Coast here on a Wednesday. Carver High and Joe Lisi in for Scotty on SportsGrid and SportsGrid Radio. Great to have everybody with us here today. All right, Joe, I got a couple things to get you updated on. First of all, it's over at Citi Field in Queens. The walk-off home run by the Wink Man, Jesse Winker, with the walk-off. And I think he hit it about 4 minutes ago, Joe. I think he just crossed home plate. Winker, with the show that he put on, going around the bases, taking the jersey off, yelling at his own dugout, going around, telling them all to move away from the plate. He had the whole nine, Joe, with that celebration. I know you're upset. You wanted extras. I'm sorry.
I did want extras, but hey, walk-off home run. The team is 66 and 61, right? So 5 games over 500. Who knew? This was supposed to be a rebuilding year. They're in contention. Break up the Mets.
You're never rebuilding in New York, Joe. You retool. You retool. You don't rebuild. Come on now, Joe. You know that. Bottom of the 6th in Houston, 2-1 Red Sox. So it looked like early in this game where we had 3 quick runs, we'd get a lot of runs, Joe, but nothing since. It's been very, very quiet. Yordan Alvarez just flew out. We really could use a homer from Yordan today. I know he's going to have maybe one more at bat, hopefully to take care of business for us. And it is scoreless still in Arlington between the Pirates and the Rangers. What did you need in that, Joe? 11.5, 12.5, 13.5?
7.5.
Oh, that took the regular number? Wow. Why? You're getting banged around a little bit, so you got off the alts and you just went to the straight overs?
I put
what's
it with
the
other
theory
alts.
here?
I took the 7.5 as one leg. So
okay, I'm just trying to figure out the theory. That's all. I just want to know what you're up to.
Trying to get into the mind.
Thinking.
It's a beautiful
just
mind.
Trying to get into the mind a little bit, just a little bit, Joe. That's all that I'm trying to do. And the White Sox and Giants are just throwing first pitch right now. Logan Webb
over
out.
Somebody led off with a triple.
Well, there you go. Well,
runs.
It would be Nicky Lopez who leads off. So there you go, man on third to kick things off for the Sox. That's a big run, Joe. You got to run the second batter of the game. That's always huge for the
Little
number. Nicky Lopez from the neighborhood. Your boy Nicky from the neighborhood.
Is he from the neighborhood?
Through. He's from the neighborhood, probably. Let me get through some of this stuff from last night because pretty much everyone is playing tonight. Once again, Cleveland beat the Yankees 9-5 in 12 innings. The Yankees could have won this game, Joe, several times, but continued to blow opportunities. And then the Guardians blew it open in the 12th. David Fry with the big blow. Bally Sports Great Lakes.
Reaches out, pokes it to right field, and it will get down. It'll split him and roll all the way to the wall. 1 run is scored. 2 runs have scored. Here comes Freeman. It's a bases-clearing triple for David Fry. And the Guardians have blown the lid off here with 5 in the 12th.
They blew the lid off, Joe, in that one. I learned something last night, too, and you know I love dragging Aaron Boone around. I think he's just an awful manager. That guy, Stephen Vogt for Cleveland, he's the first-year manager. He's better 5 months on the job than Boone's ever been. Now, it helps when you have a good bullpen. That makes a difference, but he makes the right moves. He makes the right decisions. Boone, he stinks. That's what I learned last night in that 9-5 game in 12 innings. And I'm tired. It's just he makes so many wrong decisions, Joe. I can't believe he still has the job. Aaron Boone. It bothers me.
He's a yes man, Carver. He's a yes guy. You know how that is.
He lies all the time. It was pretty funny because Wells was playing great. Austin Wells, the catcher, playing great. And this Trevino came back off the IL this past weekend against Detroit. And Boone's like, no, we're still going to, even against the lefties, we're going to get Austin in there. He sat 3 of the last 4 games. But then when he came up last night, Joe, what'd he do? He hit a rocket. Wells, and he came into the game. So he can hit lefties. That's just another one of Boone's lies that he always loves to tell. Yes.
Boone prays to the Church of Cashman. You know that. And the Church of Steinbrenner. So he's a yes guy. Does whatever they want. 1-0 White Sox. 1-0. They chip it away.
They get the run in. They get the run in, Joe. Good job. I guess that was probably off of middle first. So there you go. Ground out, scores the run. Helps when the guy gets a leadoff triple. So 1 run in the bank for you there for Chicago. You need the Giants to get things going. I think my guy Fitzy is leading off there for them. So maybe we could see Fitzy go big fly for San Francisco. Elsewhere last night, the Braves had a big home series with the Phillies start down in Atlanta. They came into the night, Joe, 7 games back in the NL East. Lots of injuries for them. It's a big series. They needed to start to chip away at that big lead, and they did so last night. 3-1, the final, tied at 1. Marcell Ozuna, the Big Bear on Bally Sports South.
Ozuna to deep center field. Goodbye.
Oh.
A big fly for the Big Bear. 2-1 Atlanta. Well, I think Ozuna won that round.
I think he won that round too, Joe. Big win for the Braves. And listen, they are the Phillies have been so bad that they have now let Atlanta get to within 6 games. They need a sweep, and they sweep them, Joe, and then it becomes a conversation. You get down to 4 with 6 weeks to go, it's talking. I mean, they had it as high as 10. They have shaved 4 games off of it, and they got an opportunity tonight and tomorrow to shave another 2.
Well, yeah, I mean, here's the thing. I mean, the Braves have been inconsistent scoring runs, right? I actually thought that, when Acuna went out of the lineup, they would find other players to step up. Hasn't been the case. They're beating up on Philadelphia right now, but they're still inconsistent. One night they could score 5 runs, and they could go the next 3 nights score nothing. So that's not going to bode well for the playoffs. It is good that they're stepping up against better competition, and we'll see how it plays out tonight. I think tonight, you like the over. You might get me involved with a low 7.5.
We're going to do that later when we get to tonight's games. I think that is the no doubt about it over of the night with those 2 going. Coast to coast, we're back right after this.
What a chance it is for Adam Paxton and Victor Tingsham to pick up their first weekly titles. Adam Paxton, well, it's been the dream debut so far for him. For Victor Tingsham, he'll feel like this is a moment a little while coming. A place in the final up for grabs for one.
You can do it. Make that double 18 away for a place in the final.
Wesley Plaisir was beaten, knocked out by Mike Warburton in a last leg decider.
That is what they are playing for. They are playing for the trophy. They are playing for the big prize pot, and they are playing for a place in the £25,000 Champions Week.
97.
There is a point you feel that reality will surely kick in for Adam Paxton, who's here on debut. He watches the Super Series almost every single week. He was happy just to be playing in a group. This could be the leg that we talk about at the end of the night as being the one that changed the final, because Adam Paxton has just gone cold at the moment.
Bang on,
He doesn't just get two, he gets the lot.
Adam should take it the 16 out. If not, Mike's just behind him.
Shot on the fifth leg.
Can Paxton deliver one of the biggest moments of his career so far? He can. Double 12. What a moment that is from Adam Paxton. Mike Warburton was looking at 60 to win the match.
14.
Paxton, here's your moment. He approaches the jockey with confidence, with time, and delivers. Adam Paxton on debut. The boy, the fanboy, comes to the Super Series and wins.
And we are back for El Coast to Coast on a Wednesday here on SportsGrid and SportsGrid Radio. Carver High and Joe Lisi in for Scotty. Great to have everybody with us here. Joe, the Giants went 3 up and 3 down in the bottom half of the first, so 1-0 after 1 out at Oracle. 2-1 Red Sox Astros, top of the 7th. Sox do have a man on here against Hamilton. We'll see, or against Scott, I should say. Hamilton's up. We'll see if they can do anything. And still scoreless in Arlington between the Pirates and the Rangers, which is, I got to tell you, Joe, a little surprising to me, because I did think that with Andrew Heaney and Domingo Germán going today that we would get ourselves some runs, and they just have not been there yet.
Well, maybe we could get a bloop and a blast to get things going, you know?
Everyone loves a bloop and a blast.
Right.
Everyone loves.
Get 2. If we get 2, we could get 8. That's the way I look at it. So let's get a bloop and a blast, right? We get 2, we get 8.
That's almost like the baseball equivalent of why win 37-10 when we could lose 13-10. You almost have it that you're kind of weaving all that together, Joe. It always goes back to football with you at some point, which it's going to here as well today. Brewers beat the Cards last night 3-2. I want to know if I'm surprised you haven't said anything to me yet. You texted me yesterday and said, what over do you like the most tonight? And I said, Rockies Nationals, no doubt about it. Gas Can City, dead under, 3-1. Rockies beat the Nationals.
I was just as bad. But the good news is this: you know as well as anybody, when you're dead set on a tater or a homer or a total, and it doesn't come in, what happens the next night? Tell me what happens. I know.
I know.
And now this total is 8.5, and it's juiced to the under, and I'm going up, and away. Now, if I lose tonight, you're going to hear about it on the radio a little bit later. So that's the thing. I chalked it up as a loser. I'm going back to the well because I know there's somehow, some way you'll probably not be on it. They're dead to you. So hoping on second time is a charm.
Well, as I said to you this morning, and I put it out there on Twitter, I'm hoping we get a good bounce back with the Taters tonight, Joe, because the last couple nights have been frosty.
Ice cold. Me too.
Real icy. It's been frosty with the homers, so we need to get things ticked up a little bit here. Let's go.
I'll tell you what.
Yes.
I'm willing to do the radio show in the bathroom, like Bronx Tale, to switch up the mojo. That's what I'm willing to do. I'll do it from the bathroom if it changes up the momentum. How about that?
Whatever works for you, Joe.
Might hear a little echo. You might hear an echo in tonight's show, but we'll see how it works for the first hour. If we're trending to the over, might be a new way to do the show.
Might be a new way indeed. The Dodgers beat the Mariners 6-3, tied at 3 in the 8th for Jason Hayward coming off the bench on Sportsnet LA.
On this 2-1, Hayward drills the ball down the line towards the corner. It's gone! Pitch hit home run. Jason Hayward. Dodgers take the lead in the 8th.
Unbelievable. And the Dodgers are getting everybody back. Joe, you know who else homered last 2 nights in a row? Muncy. He came back Monday. Homer for Muncy. Suddenly the Dodgers very healthy and starting to once again get things done. They'll look for the sweep tonight against Seattle at home, Joe. So Hayward off the bench, big blow for him.
Yeah, it is. And he's done this a couple of times, though, Hayward. You know, he's gotten up.
Yeah.
I never forget the game. I think it was against the Rockies. You remember when they were down like 15-6, 15-7? He came up with the Granny Smith. The problem is that when I'm on the Dodgers, he never homers. So I don't know, Carver. Could he do it tonight?
No, probably not. We're gonna, you know, where we're going the Dodger game tonight, Joe. Back to the bell cows.
Freeman.
Back to the bell cows.
Freeman.
I tried that yesterday, by the way, with the homers. I gave the whole Lisi spiel. Back to the bell cows. Things haven't been going well. We're going to the bell cows. The bell cows.
Blue chips.
It didn't go well for the bell cows either. It didn't go well for them as well. We'll come back, Joe, and I got 1 or 2 other things from last night, and then we will go through the whole slate tonight. Everyone else is in action. Cleveland's in the Bronx again against the Yankees. That Philly-Atlanta game, which I told you I'm very interested in the total there. I wonder if maybe they could actually score some runs in Oakland tonight with the Rays and the A's. I mean, those have been dead unders the last couple nights as well. Ferrall Coast to Coast, hour number 2, SportsGrid Radio, next after this.
It's an incredible setup here, incredible matchmaking, incredible storytelling. Oh, you had to come here. All these fighters that step in here are warriors, and all have my respect. And I'm into this game, yeah. We'll be into this, yeah.
And we are live here in the Maverick Center, here in Salt Lake City, Utah, folks. What a night. It is going to be historic indeed for BKFC 56.
Whoever's the king of violence right here, this is going to be a great fight. Harry on the top. Right hand from my Perry double jab. Who's the king of violence? I am!
Combat fighting in its purest form. Bare knuckle fighting in the city of angels.
80 seconds remaining.
We've got the biggest announcement in the BKFC history we're about to make, so let's make that announcement.
What's up, Knucklemania? The notorious Conor McGregor here. Ladies and gentlemen, the huge announcement that I have for you today. Conor McGregor, myself, and McGregor Sports and Entertainment is now an owner of Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship. Welcome to the big leagues. David Feldman, baby, we did it.
He's now an owner of BKFC with us, and we're going to take this motherfucking thing all the way to the top now.